Hi everybody, this is Brian David Marshall coming to you from the Tournament Center here at Pro Tour Theros in lovely Dublin, Ireland. And I am here with Lukas Jaklovsky. Lukas, I don't know if it's a European modesty or if you're being completely fair, but you're not in love with your deck. That's 7-1 right now in the new standard, a deck we've been calling Demons and Dragons or D&D.
I wouldn't really call it modesty. It's just the way I feel about the deck. I just don't think a deck with basically a bunch of removal and nothing else could be good.
But you found some good matchups. It's been doing well for you, and it's certainly something that we're going to take a look at and see how it works. You're describing it as, well, so you have 7 creatures?
Yeah, that's right.
Demons, dragons. What made Desecration Demon one of the soldiers you wanted to go into battle with this weekend?
Well, since it's just a very huge body for mana, and not many of the red, greens, and Naya decks could really do anything about it. Maybe did an expansion of Celestia Charm, and other than that, then just basically fall to it.
Sure. And then Stormbreath Dragon, one of the new cards from the Theros. What's the thinking there?
Well, that's basically the kill condition of the deck, because because of the production from wide, it's really good basically against every control deck, even though we can basically win game 1 against any control deck like Esper, because we're just, as I said, we have just a bunch of removal. So post board, it should be better with all those Duresses and stuff like that.
So you describe that as the way you win.
Yeah.
So is Desecration Demon more like something that's just there to soak up their creatures and force them to just keep their creature count low?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about what you do with that low creature count. First you start attacking their hand.
Yeah.
Thoughtseize, newly reprinted.
Yeah, right. Actually, the interesting thing about those 2 cards are that when you're playing against a red, green, or Naya, it's actually, those cards are actually good. Like, you actually bore in Rakdos Return against Naya.
Right, which would be counterintuitive because they're able to come out so fast and do so much damage.
Exactly, but with all those Planeswalkers and like Holocranos and stuff like that, it's actually really good because they just basically have also like 4 mana cards, 5 mana cards, the dragons, maybe sometimes even Rurik Tark or something like that.
Right, and Thoughtseize the same thing. Their cards are sitting in their hands, and you can sort of bide your time and find the perfect window to disrupt their plan.
That's there basically for Domri Rade and stuff like that. You can't really do anything about it.
Right, your Black Red.
Yeah.
Well, Black Red suddenly has some answers to Planeswalkers. You know, there was a time where it was pretty difficult to kill a non-creature permanent in Black Red.
Right. And now it's easy.
How important to the deck is the ability for these 2 spells to kill a Planeswalker?
I would say very, because you can win after like 1 activation of the Domri or after 1 activation of Xenagos, so they're still very good against it.
Right. But you might have to reach into another color if they weren't available?
I don't think we would.
Yeah, or would you play this deck though if you didn't have the ability to attack Planeswalkers?
I think I still would. Okay. If Stanislav would tell me that.
Okay, so this is Stanislav Sivka's build?
Yeah,
and even Flash. So let's take a look. We have Devour Flesh, Magma Jet, Doomblade, a bunch of cheap removal. I guess Devour Flesh works really well with Desecration Demon. It seems like it's going to be best in that kind of deck.
Sometimes you can actually just target yourself and gain 6 life or so when you need it. As far as the Magma Jet goes, that's probably the worst card in the deck that virtually doesn't do anything at all. It's just basically a scry to nothing else.
Really? It's just card selection?
Well, basically, we thought it could be good, like, but the 2 damage are just not enough.
Is that something you're siding out a lot?
Yeah, basically in every matchup. Even against red-green, it's horrible.
Okay. So Doomblade, a staple. Everyone knows. Anyone who's ever listened to a set review knows what Doomblade can do. It kills everything.
Basically, yeah.
All your favorite mythics that are being printed dies to Doomblade. Let's take a look at some more cards. Speaking of killing things, Anger of the Gods. How has this card been?
That's probably the most important card in the deck. Like, you can basically win against the red-green without playing Anger of the Gods. So that's about it.
What are you looking to, like, what are you looking for from that? Are you looking to get a 2-for-1? You're looking for it as a 1-for-1? How do you see that card function?
That depends on the situation, but most of the time you'll get 2-for-1 from it. And that should be enough if you kill like a Sylvan Caryatid and some creature. It should be good.
Right, and it's non-targeted removal again.
Yeah,
so.
and it also kills the Voice of Resurgence without the token. So.
Okay, nice. Right, because exile it instead. And then Chandra Pyromaster. This is a card that we've seen do well in even older formats than Standard.
Well, also, once again, to be honest, I don't think this card is very good in the deck.
No, is it something you're citing out a lot?
Yeah, being on the draw, I would sideboard it out in most matchups.
Now, is that because, so you guys have Magma Jet, you have Chandra. Did you think there were going to be a lot more smaller creatures in this format?
Yeah, we thought that there's going to be like more mono-reds and maybe Celestians, against which this is actually okay, because they're playing like, most of the time they're playing Llanowar Elves, the Giant Militants and stuff like that. But
it hasn't worked out that way at this moment. Lots of 5/5s for 4 mana.
Yeah, that's not exactly what Chandra is made for.
Okay, so let's take a look at your lands. 4 Mutavaults, 4 Blood Crypts, 4 Rakdos Guildgates, and then on the next slide, this is an interesting card. It was kind of misleading as to what your deck was the first time I was looking at Decklist. I'm like, oh, a red, white, blacklist.
Yes, but it's just there for the scry, and I couldn't agree with Stanislav. He played 3 of them. I think 2 Temple of Silence and 1 Temple of Triumph. But I just don't like my lands going into the game tapped.
So this is, and it's just there to scry.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything else in terms of providing colored mana.
That's right. It also mystifies opponents, so I guess that's good.
Okay, all right, so there's a little bit of misdirection going on there. Your opponent thinks maybe you have something in your sideboard that you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's take a look at your sideboard. Duress, Lifebane Zombie, Doomblade. Do things that are obviously matchup dependent. Where are you bringing Duress? Is it mostly in control?
Against control, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I didn't sideboard it against red-green, even though Rakdos Return is good.
How Lifebane Zombie, I assume, comes in that matchup?
Yeah, that card is just great.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it all weekend long, being a 2-for-1. You take a creature out of their hand, and then they're like, well, I really need to get rid of that guy.
Yeah, right,
and you're like, either you're going to be able to attack with it, or they're just going to run a creature into it.
Yeah, and also it threatens the Planeswalkers, so that's also good.
Underworld Connections, Mother Rakdos Return, Thoughtseize, Shock. Shock, I assume. If you don't like Magma Jet, I can't imagine that you've brought in Shock.
You're completely right.
And let's take a look if there's, is that it?
That's it.
Oh, that's it for the sideboard. Okay, that went by pretty quick. So you are 7-1 right now with the deck.
That's right.
And in pretty good shape here?
Well, I think so. It depends on the matchup in the last round.
Okay. So we're going to let you get back down there. Lucas, thank you for joining us at the Tournament Center. I'm Brian David Marshall. He's Lukas Jaklovsky. He doesn't love the deck, but it's 7-1.